everybody, Sonia Rollins for BACC Talk. I am excited to be back with you with our new chairman of the board of directors from the Burlington Area Chamber of Commerce and its charitable foundation, Kelly Pappas. Kelly, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Sonia.
You know what, it's so funny when we're chatting because obviously I've known you for a long time and things have been great and we've been on the board together for a long time. But first, for people who don't know you, why don't you tell everybody what you do outside of the chamber?
Sure. So I am the Assistant Vice President of Claims Operations for an insurance carrier called AmTrust Financial Services. I've been there about a year and a half. I'm a long-term Burlington resident for 25, 26 years. My kids came up through the school system. Football, as you know, we're both football parents together.
Right.
Yeah, that's me.
And a member of town meeting.
That's right, and a member of town meeting. I was a member of Ways and Means. I was the chair of the Government Review Committee when that was going forward. Former chair of the Chamber's Government Affairs Committee as well. So I've done a couple things here and there.
Couple of things here and there. And you know what, let's talk about that a little bit first because I think it will tie in beautifully with the Chamber and kind of everything that we've been doing. The importance of that, Kelly, like the importance of being involved because you're clearly somebody who stays involved in the community. Talk about that for a bit. Like why is that important to you?
So for me, I think there's a few reasons. When I started to first get involved, it was when my boys were younger, and I simply wanted to be involved in their day-to-day lives.
Right.
And then, so once I started sports, I wanted to make sure that the experience they had was a good experience. So I volunteered a lot for the Friends of Burlington Football, which I think is probably when I first met you, actually.
I think so too, yeah. Football mothers stick
together,
football,
we do.
We do. Yeah.
And so that was sort of my first taste of volunteering within Burlington. Outside of Burlington, I've always volunteered at several other organizations. But once I got the taste of volunteering in Burlington, I recognize the impact that you can have.
Yeah.
And I want to be knowledgeable about what's going on in the town that I live in.
Yeah.
So then there was town meeting, and then there was joining the chamber. And it's important, if I want to have a say in what's going on in the town around me, and I want to impact what's going on, that I know that I have to participate. I can't just sit back on the sidelines and watch everybody else determine what's going to happen.
Oh God, now you've said something, right? Because I think that's sometimes the biggest challenge is people perceive that, you know, they can just watch and then not understand why something didn't happen, or maybe don't understand. It's a very intricate system, whether that's town meeting or whether it's volunteering, even as simple as football, which is not so simple, and all of these things. I mean, there's a lot that goes on in the process, right? And being involved is so critical to that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And when people sit back and say, I can't believe this happened and I can't believe that happened and how come they're doing this, the question always is, well, what have you done to make a change or to impact it? Yeah,
and it doesn't mean you have to always agree with people. It just means that, you know, that step in and that like melding of different ideas kind of moves everybody forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep,
which
I agree.
Melds us right into the next thing, which is the chamber, which, I mean, speaking of bringing in a bunch of people and doing that together, you have been on the board for, I know I have to do the math for this.
8?
Yeah, imagine.
8 years?
8 years on the board.
Yeah, I first joined the chamber when I had a previous job and I was selling commercial lines, property casualty insurance, and I needed to build my network. I had been in an office environment for 14 years, not selling anything, didn't have to network. So when I first started with the chamber, it's because I wanted to network.
Yeah.
And then it was, you know, mind blown about everything that the chamber actually does. It's not just networking.
Exactly. Speak to that a little, Callie.
So the chamber, in addition to the networking, AM networking and PM networking, we do a lot around the community. The NWRA funding, for example, that just came through for the town earlier in the year, the chamber had a big role in that. Right. Hiring the consultant who helped to write the grant. Yes. And that's just that's a small taste of what we do. We run events all year. We have a huge nonprofit arm to help various other nonprofits that, and if I listed them up, Burlington Women Aid and People Helping People and the UDT Seals Association, just to name a few. I know I missed some, I apologize. the charitable giving that they do, the scholarships every year, is amazing.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what kept me in the chamber.
Yeah, and the government, you said it, there's multiple arms in the networking and government affairs. That MWRA grant work that was done was an integral part to getting the funding mechanism that helped move that along. So it is really huge when you think about it, you know. And so 8 years on the board, very involved in it, both in a networking stance, then you realize everything else that kind of goes along with it. You take on the chairmanship, which, congratulations.
Thank you.
You take on the chairmanship, which is a very interesting thing, and I'm going to save that part to the future of the chamber, what we're talking about, after the break. But what I would love to talk about is the importance of good business, like the importance of good business, small, large businesses, just the importance of being a good corporate citizen, and then the reverse, the importance of residents seeing the business community. Well,
so the chamber, I think when people think about the chamber, they think about big developers.
Yeah.
And while they are a good segment of the chamber, that's not all. We have, I believe the last count there was 190 members when I last checked, and the majority of those are actually small businesses.
Right.
And so government affairs, for example, the things that we do where the developers may be involved, where the developers, quite honestly, can help to fund some of the efforts that we have.
Yes.
What gets accomplished there impacts everybody, impacts all of the corporate citizens that we have in Burlington. And given the split tax rate that we have here in Burlington and the amount of taxes that the companies pay, it's important to help both the small businesses and the large businesses succeed and stay relevant.
Exactly, because Burlington really, it's our biggest success in Burlington is that we've melded all of this together. And I always say the planners, they say founding fathers and mothers, founding people, the founders of Burlington, but technically the term is founding fathers, right? They thought it out very well because of the way it was split up. And I often wonder, when you think about all of the things that Burlington does and what the community supplies to its residents, but also what the business community capitalizes on for being in the location that it's in, it's like a perfect marriage, right? And I see a lot of that when we talk about the chamber, when we sit and talk about different parts of the chamber. I mean, look at the restaurant base, for example. Never in our, how long have we been here? 26 years?
Yeah.
And I'm around that number. Like 26 years ago, it was like, where should we eat?
Where do we go? I know. It probably wasn't Burlington.
Right. Right?
Or, well, I mean, Victoria Station. We did used to go to
And
Victoria
York
Station.
Steakhouse.
And
Do you remember York Steakhouse? Yeah, exactly.
Yes. And Jimmy's was at the mall.
That's
and,
right. I miss
And the
Jimmy's.
Dandelion Green.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was what I knew of Burlington. And now I joke with people and they say, they ask me where I'm from and I say, oh, Burlington. Like, you never have to leave.
No.
Like, I don't. I have everything that I could possibly need right here in Burlington. It's a very different place than it was 26 years ago, but I think it's absolutely amazing how it has grown and progressed.
I agree with you. And speaking of things that have been growing and progressing, the Simon property, Burlington Mall, has been doing an amazing job with this development of different restaurants and different things that are available, one of which is Karma. We had the pleasure of going out to Karma to see their sushi and to meet with the owner and kind of take a look inside. So the foodie segment this month is at Karma, and come with me, Kelly, and you can go ahead and watch, and we'll be back right after this. Hi everybody, Sonia Rollins with BACC. We are doing our foodie segment today at Karma Asian Fusion, located at the Burlington Mall, and they are experiencing great success here. We are excited to be here, and come on in. Okay, we are here with the owner of Karma. Iverson, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for letting us into your restaurant. It's stunning. Yeah, we want to congratulate you. Welcome to Burlington, first of all. It is a great addition to the Simon property. Talk a little bit about why Burlington, or what triggered you to think about Burlington as a location.
Very luckily, we got the opportunity from the Simons, because the Simons leasing team to come to visit one of my locations in Concord. They loved the concept what we're doing in Concord, Mass. They are thinking about to put some authentic Asian fusion right on this property. So that's why we're here.
Yeah, we love it. And talk about you are an owner of 4 locations presently. Congratulations to you for that. And really this is about an individual who owns 4 restaurants who's really kind of built it from the ground up.
So first of all, I really thank for the community. I mean, when I come to the Burlington, I feel very welcome and supportive. We really engage with the community.
Yes.
We are part of the community. We don't feel like we are just we want to do business here. We are serving every individual, every family in this community. Typically, Asian restaurant, it's got a lot of the takeout business, especially like holiday season, before the Christmas, before the New Year, Thanksgiving. We have a lot of takeout. But personally, I would love to have all the patrons coming to the restaurant, experience. You can see that the presentation, you can feel the vibe. We will have a DJ here on the Friday and the Saturday night. You feel it very trendy. It's a very sexy place. We have a very good product. Personally, I very care about the food ingredients. We always pick the top shelf quality, seafood, poultry, vegetable, everything. But at the end of the day, I mean, experience and memorable. I just want people feel like, oh, I have a great birthday party at a Karma. I have a nice like anniversary at a Karma.
Yes.
Something they can remember.
I love that actually, because it is about a memory. Food really marries with that, doesn't it? It's like if you have a good meal, it's a good memory of the restaurant that you were in. And speaking of that, let's talk about just Karma in general. First of all, very hard to concentrate when all this beautiful food is to my right, but it's lovely. And the sushi, you're known for your sushi. I understand North Shore Magazine awarded you Best Sushi. Congratulations on that. That's not a small feat when you think about all the restaurants that are around you, so that's huge.
We needed to magnify the seafood flavor itself, not using heavy sauce, not dipping like a spicy, not make it like a very heavy sauce. Cover it. We want to discover its own flavor, but on top of it, we are adding different ingredients, make it unique. I don't go to the fish pier, but I have a buddy go to the fish pier every day, and we are build out kind of like a connection with the vendor. Very fortunate, we always have a good quality, top shelf seafood supplying all Karma restaurants.
What is your favorite sushi? If you were going to order sushi, what would it be?
There's so many good things on our menu. The best, I would say, this dish is called the Sears Old Toro with the Russian caviar, fresh summer truffle, and 24 gold leaf. It's unique. It's a very delicate, upscale looking, but the texture and the fish flavor, it's awesome. Yeah. The fish itself, it just tastes like a butter. It's a perfect fusion combination. And I wonder if you can tell me, if you wanted to give somebody a message, if you wanted to describe Karma to them, what would you say? Obviously, I would love everyone come to visit Karma, because we are here. We are not just serving food. We are really wanted to give you guys the best experience, dining experience you didn't have in the past. There are so many people probably never tried a sushi, but we do have a lot of cooked sushi on the menu. So, come in, try it. I hope you enjoyed today's foodie segment as much as I did. Awarded the North Shore Magazine's Best Sushi for 2021. You can see why with all of the great things that are going on inside this beautiful restaurant. Good food, great staff, first class drinks. Everything about this is just wonderful, and that's just good karma. For BACC Talk, I'm Sonia Rollins. That was outstanding.
I know where I'm going tonight.
Absolutely.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Can I tell you, such a kind man and really into the community. I mean, literally just what we were talking about, right? So his food is good, his location is good, and he truly cares about everybody around him and having a good experience, which speaks very much to what they think. This will be an interesting story for you and for those watching. You know that there's a good owner-operator involved when his whole staff for his birthday planned a party for him, and everybody from every location came after their shift ended. Wow. So they like him. That's impressive. Yeah, exactly. That's impressive. Yeah, you should absolutely try it. For those of you at home, absolutely please try Karma. If you are not a sushi person, I assure you they have a full menu of other things, but if you are a sushi person, one of the best I've had around town. Excellent. It was incumbent on us to try it, of course. Of course. How would we? How could you not? Right, exactly. All right, back to you, Miss Kelly. So we were talking about the chamber. We were talking about the importance of the town. You know, obviously COVID not only did the community take a hit, people personally took a hit, the business community took a huge hit. And we're still kind of rallying from that, I mean, talk about that. Like, I know that we saw it somewhat, but if you were describing what that looked like from the eyes of the chamber out during the COVID times, or the deeper COVID times, I should say.
It was painful.
Yeah.
I mean, for a while there, the chamber slowed down a lot, and our staff was let go for a bit. Fortunately, we brought Debbie and Rick back. Katie is on to different things.
Yes.
But it was hard because so many people, I think one of the things people don't realize is the number of people and businesses that rely on the chamber for help.
Exactly.
One of the things that we did was we opened up, particularly with the restaurants and hospitality industry, we opened up the chamber to everybody, to all of the restaurants in the area, even if you weren't a member, just to get the word out that, hey, we're open,
Right.
We're still here, come get takeout, help us thrive.
Right.
So it was painful. A lot of the events that we've come to know and love, the black tie and the taste, were missed.
We're missing those. You're
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So it was hard because we weren't able to provide the help and support consistently that we had been doing for so long.
Yeah, and it's hard too because we missed it on a social level.
Mm-hmm.
We also missed it on a financial level.
Yes.
I mean, you spoke to that a minute ago. We had to furlough the staff, and we didn't have really a choice in that. I think sometimes people are under the impression the chamber has a never-ending source. If only we did that.
If only.
Would be fantastic. But I think that is really the difficult part. Is it's really meant as a mechanism. I found the most interesting part during the COVID times with the restaurant industry, who were, I mean, knocked down on their knees, really, right? And some of these restaurants, unfortunately, didn't make it. People, not only in Burlington, all around. But what I really found amazing was the Chamber's website did, I mean, really, Rick and Debbie, and at the time Katie was there too, yeoman's work on, getting out the information, knowing what was out there, telling people what was available. Restaurants who never did takeout before doing takeout, which was amazing to me. And I have to say, they did it well.
They did.
Yeah, so it was a resource to the residents and it was a resource to the businesses because I would go on and see, places like the Capitol Grill or Londana's where you wouldn't expect to really go to get
Takeout.
right, but you did.
But you did.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it was the same quality that you got when you were actually in the restaurant.
100%. 100%. So now let's look forward, right? I mean, I think that we hope to have events back, I would imagine.
Yes.
I mean, we're slowly bringing them back,
Yes.
correct? But what do you see? And, or what would, and we're not holding you to it, of course.
Oh,
but
that's
I know,
good.
Yeah, no one's going to hold you to it, except everybody watching.
Right, no problem, no
Yeah,
pressure.
but what would you envision? Like, what do you want to see happening for the chamber? If you could, shake the ball and say, okay, this is what I'd love for the chamber in the coming year.
Well, besides the endless supply of funding so that we can do
Yes.
everything that we want to accomplish,
Yeah.
I think that during COVID, during the pandemic, it came obvious how important the chamber is.
Yeah.
What has also become obvious is the number of businesses who are actually not currently members of the chamber. So while 2021 has really been about getting back to the new normal, 2022 is going to be about growth and getting the word out and the branding and letting people know that we're here.
Yes.
And we're here to help.
Yeah.
There's a story of one non-member who unfortunately misunderstood a recent law that came out and ended up spending a significant amount of money on something that they were not required to do. And had they been members of the chamber, they would have known what the actual statute said and what the requirements were, or at least they would have had a place to go to ask the question that they didn't feel they could do.
Right.
So growing the membership so that we can help more people, more businesses, more, and thereby helping the Burlington residents, because if the companies in Burlington thrive, then the citizens thrive.
Yes.
So that's really growth, getting events back is, I think, something that we definitely want to do. Everybody miss golf, poor Brendan had nothing to do this year without his golf tournament.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think events and growth and seeing how we can take the chamber to the next level and tackle some of the larger issues that we're seeing.
Yeah, I think that's beautifully said, by the way, because it was really about stabilization for a few years. Sometimes something less than stabilization. It was just about holding on with everything we had and then kind of stabilizing. And I love that you said growth, because there are so many people who don't really understand how many benefits there are to the chamber, you know, and even like people who aren't necessarily in town. I mean, I don't know if people appreciate the fact that what you do now isn't necessarily attached to the Burlington community at all per se, but out of the love of good business, right? And the love of the community you live in, but also just knowing what the chamber offers, you still continue to volunteer there, which is huge.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, as I said earlier, when I first joined the chamber, it's because I was in sales and I was networking.
Right.
I don't do any of that anymore. I have a cushy desk job, and as my son says, I get paid to sit at home in my pajama pants and sell spreadsheets all day, and
Right.
it's fabulous.
Yeah.
But I'm still here, and not only am I still here in the chamber, but I'm chairman, chairwoman, chairperson of the
Yes.
board now,
Yeah.
because of the people who I've met in the chamber and the good that we do for the community that I live in.
Yeah, you know, that's really, it's awesome, Kel, because here's what I really believe. There was a lot of ugly in the last 2 years. There was certainly a lot of times where we you know, it was dark, as we said, right? There were dark days, both physically dark because we weren't in the office,
Yes.
and also just mentally dark that you didn't know where it was going to go. And what I love is that really kindness kind of prevailed, I think, in that, right? There was some moments where you saw those who knew the benefit, not just in the chamber, but just in general, kindness prevailed in that. And I loved seeing that when you look back a little bit.
It was amazing to see the people come out. I remember early on in the days when the restaurants had to pivot and started serving takeout. The number of people in the area who said, "I'm going to go to True North and I'm just going to get takeout."
Exactly.
So that I can help, or I'm going to go to Lindana's and get takeout.
Right.
Right. Eddie V's. There's so many people willing to. You have to eat.
Yeah.
And
so you might as well eat
so
well.
you might as well eat well. Absolutely.
That's right. Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, the kindness of people just helping out.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope that continues forward in 22. I mean, I think the idea of growth, the idea of pushing people to the website, you know, if we could say anything to a community, you know, BACCMA.org, I can't say that enough. It is a fantastic website because it will tell you all the restaurants in the town, tell you happenings, chamber calendars.
Job postings.
Job postings.
The number of jobs that are currently available in Burlington and
Yeah.
the surrounding area
Yeah.
is there's a lot.
There's a lot. And I always forget to tell people that, but that's a great place to look for jobs.
Yep, absolutely.
It really is. Okay, folks, it is the end of the year. We will be running this into the new year. So on behalf of the entire chamber, we want to wish you a happy holidays and happy new year. We're hoping for a very prosperous and great new year for you all. And please remember your local charities as you're kind of sitting around and thinking if there's something you want to give. You know, you can also go to the Chamber's website and see all of these nonprofits who not only give back to their community, but stay involved in unity and kind of work together to better the community together. What am I
Absolutely.
missing, Cal? If you were going to give somebody a little something about the Chamber, elevator pitch, what would you say?
Oh my.
Yeah.
This is not your grandfather's chamber.
It is not your grandfather's chamber. Kelly Pappas, Chairman of the Board of Directors for the Chamber, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Happy holidays, everybody. Happy New Year for Back Talk. I'm Sonia Rollins.